than that, we're going to belt through this. There will be stops and starts as the show goes on. Try to regard it as some sort of free DVD extra that only you get to see. Okay, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, going from that direction over to that direction. I am safe to bring people out, and yeah, because you two really shouldn't be there for the length of the show, yeah? People will spot that at home. Hiya, how are you? Is that all right? Thanks, Carmela. Right, in that chair, has been there for the... Who the fuck are you? Is this some sort of end-of-series gift, is it? You could have hidden him below the desk before the fucking audience arrived here. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the most gifted mouths we have working. How are you? No, and doesn't even register that I'm talking about him at the moment. That's a complete professional. How are you? Plugging in the screen. Good to have you there. Who wouldn't like to be secretly filleted during a television recording session by that very man there? There he goes again! Disappearing into his little coat. Okay. I think we're going to have to drag out this bit, because I'm not fucking sitting down there. Not starting this show. I know. There's a man checking the... Hurry up, Dara, please. What, is he by the hour? Is he worried about that? Maybe see the show go, my time's up, and then disappear off. Right. To Mock the Week, I'm Dara O'Brien. The news this week. East Anglia has been rocked by a bird flu outbreak. Some of the poultry workers are so concerned about it that they've stopped having sex with the turkeys. The bird flu scare has come as a major blow to the turkey population, just as they were congratulating each other on making it through Christmas. In a disaster on this scale, it's all too easy to overlook the forgotten victims, the cranberry sauce manufacturers. There are plans to make the school curriculum more appealing to teenagers by introducing lessons with greater relevance. So, computer games will be followed by happy slapping and double drugs. It's been estimated that the 2012 Olympics will cost Britain 4 times as much as originally stated, rising to a massive £9 billion. That's a good start. One world record in the bag already. Letter bombs have been discovered at the offices of a speed camera company, a congestion charge company, and the Vehicle Licensing Association. The police believe the bombs are the work of a disgruntled motorist and have narrowed down their list of suspects to everybody. A woman astronaut besotted with her colleague was accused of trying to murder a love rival. When she was arrested, the astronaut had 2 bin bags, some rubber tubing, and a roll of gaffer tape. NASA are still trying to work out how she stole a complete shuttle repair kit. The male astronaut involved had only considered it a casual fling, a case of Roger and out. Joining me tonight are 6 of the country's top comedy performers: Andy Parsons, Joe Caulfield, Russell Howard, and Frankie Ball, Hugh Dennis, and Rod Gilbert. Welcome to the show. Okay. Our first round is called Headliners. Here's a picture of clean-up operations after the bird flu outbreak at Bernard Matthews Farm in Suffolk. But what does BTAD stand for?
Is it bugger there's a dead one? Is it Bioterrorists Annual Disco?
Is it BBC Terminate Anton Deck?
Is it best to avoid drumsticks?
Well, that's probably as close as we're going to get, to be honest.
Blessed takes a dump.
Is it what goes into
You'd hear that coming from miles away, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Joy! And then the laugh, once he's laid the cable. As he moves to another...
You'd imagine that Blessed's dump screen would bounce off the moon and crush Tokyo. Bath time arse disaster?
Yes,
again, another video.
I have to say, the answer I was looking for was bath time arse disaster.
I got that paper.
Yeah, it was good. They just went in a different angle with the whole thing. The T, I'll give you a clue, stands for turkey.
British turkeys are doomed.
Probably. Well, turkeys are destroyed, I would reckon. But what would be? Bilious? Billions? British?
British. Very good.
British
well done.
turkey.
Hugh, by a process of going through every word beginning with B, Hugh has correctly identified the answer. Let us applaud him. The answer I was looking for was British turkeys are destroyed and refers to the arrival of the deadly H5N1 strain of avian flu in this country. Exclusion zones have been set up and a cull of 159,000 birds carried out. Is it enough? I wonder, ladies and gentlemen. The BBC sent us a note not to scaremonger in any way. It's out there! It's out there, for God's sake! Oh, it's like hand-pulled and shotgun cartridges. What the hell are you doing watching this, for Christ's sake? What are you doing right now? We should stop. What's something wrong there?
We don't need to panic, do we?
We don't need to panic.
Apparently, if you eat turkey, you should be absolutely fine. The only way you can catch it is if you dry out the carcass and sniff it.
That's essentially it,
If
yes.
you're into that sort of weird shit, you deserve exactly what's coming to you.
This is in Suffolk. That might well kick off. I mean, you're talking about the one place in the world where bird flu could actually raise life expectancy levels as the locals finally stop marrying seagulls.
Yeah, the interesting thing about it is that they are battery turkeys. They're battery turkeys. They're treated very, very cruelly. But of the infected ones, the Duracell ones lived slightly longer.
And they've banned pigeon racing on the back of this as well. They've banned also, if Panic have banned pigeon, and that's going to force it underground, surely.
It would actually be more humane if they let them live in a bargain bucket. If they rolled into a bargain bucket as an egg, hatched, lived their life there, and then just before they died, onion rings were added. Like, with the man from Del Monte, it's just a job. You know? He says yes, but it's more of a yeah. You can tell that Matthews is into his work. If turkeys ever take over the world, their science will be devoted to keeping Bernard Matthews alive for 10,000 years while they repeatedly skin and reskin his scrotum.
No. There is the appealing image, by the way, the man from Del Monte sitting somewhere on a tropical veranda going, well, I really wanted to get into teaching. But this job just came up and, you know, the hat fit, so...
Come on, it's tinned fruit. Did they put the best fruit in tins? They couldn't give a shit. They could put turkey in there. We wouldn't know.
You've just ruined every harvest festival ever now.
The tabloids did go a bit insane of a disease which doesn't even exist. The Mirror ran with a headline, what the fuck? What? Do you know why you have a flicker? The Monitor, Johnny fucking Blowjob, didn't quite do the job.
Fucking sort it out!
Concentrate on the job in hand, all right? Yeah.
Johnny Blowjob. That's like the
worst thing, he's going
weirdest...
to come out here now, and he's a big lad.
That sounds like the weirdest superhero ever. I'm Johnny
Okay, we'll
Blowjob.
pause for a second because this thing is apparently... Yes.
Johnny Blowjob? His mate
Oh,
Barry.
sorry, yeah. Genuinely, I am getting a road note on my ear going, could we not say that Bernard Matthews takes an enormous amount of glee in the cuddling of... You know, various things that...
He doesn't take glee in it. He sits on a throne of turkey skulls.
So tired.
Look at that. Just sorted it out.
You just pulled the fucking cable out. I could have done that.
That was a job for Johnny Blowjob.
Thank you very, very much.
It won't be easy now. It just won't work.
Is it a bird? Is it a fly?
It's
Is it an old
there
man
is, like-
sucking someone's cock?
You know, I could actually there's an off switch on this. I could have done that without getting the poor man to race over.
There are rules,
You're right, I don't need the screen. You're absolutely fine. Thank you. Okay, I will say that we are obliged not to scaremonger here, unlike the papers, which went bananas. The Mirror said, we may die, save us. And the Newsworld ran with, human bird flu is here. Just for clarification, human bird flu isn't here. Right? And people in the Newsworld are going bananas. They notice, the disease doesn't exist.
I'm getting very confused by all the advice on bacteria. I read the other day that there's more bacteria in the washing up bowl than there is in your toilet. And I thought, what do you do? I'd panic and I'd shit in the sink. What are you supposed to do with the information they give? I don't know what to do with all this information.
Let's face it, Rod. In that, you went with your heart rather than your head there.
Possibly. I mean, that's not my head. That's not my heart. That's my head.
You know, so I'm not,
You're a Catholic. You got it the wrong way
I'm
around.
not an anatomist, Rod. I don't know
Either
what
way,
these
it could be a
things
terrific Fairy Liquid advert, wouldn't it? Get your hands soft. No, Rod, not there.
Apparently it doesn't make any difference how much you wash either to the amount of bacteria in your body. So I was right never to wash my cock. In fact, I think
When
that
did
the
you put down
bacteria...
that? Is that what it is?
I think the bacteria add an extra couple of centimetres.
For years now, we've been told you've got to have, you know, free-range chicken. It's going to completely change that. You don't want a chicken that's free-range. You want a chicken that has been locked up for a long... You know, this isn't an ordinary chicken. This is a chicken which has been raised friendless in solitary confinement.
The actual first one of H5N1 in this country was actually a swan, wasn't it?
It was a swan,
And
yes.
it arrived in Scotland, and they said, oh, well, you know, it's probably come over from France. Nothing to do with us, that's it. Blame those foreigners. Yeah. Mad cow disease, oh, yeah. Sod all to do with us. Probably some German cow came across on a lilo across the North Sea.
Birds have got an easy deal. Birds have got an easy deal here. They're just getting flu. I mean, cats can get AIDS. That would have made Top Cat a very different show. My food's falling out to sea. Up a dibble, I've got AIDS.
Hang on a minute. Whoa! Can cats get AIDS?
It's called FAIDS. No, it's called feline
AIDS, yeah.
feline AIDS.
Who's how they get?
It's called like feeder or fade.
Thank God you don't work for the National Health Phone. I don't know, something. See you later. Bye. I gotta go. Yeah, I'm playing Pro Evo on the PlayStation. See ya.
Yeah.
I think calling it bird flu is one of the problems. It's difficult to take something seriously when it's got flu there. It's like bird cough or bird sneezels. You know, if it was bird plague, we'd probably say that. Bird death, foot and mouth and stomach and arse. We'd be worried about that, wouldn't we?
It is a lot more serious. It is a lot more serious than flu. It should be called avian shit your organs out.
The statistics, really.
That's why you're not in charge, Frankie.
Quick question, sir. Bernard Matthews and his farm has been in the news before. Do you remember the stories that were in the news for?
Twizzlers.
It was Twizzlers was one thing, yes.
Jamie Oliver slagged off Twizzlers.
And they invent turkey Twizzlers. What else? Do you remember what
Oh,
else?
they played baseball with Turkey.
Oh, yeah,
Played
turkey baseball.
baseball with turkey.
Yeah.
But which is bad for a turkey's self-image. It's not a sport that suits them.
Exactly.
They can't hold the bat. They can't field. If they mix the teams up even, like half human, half turkey, then you
Do
get
you
a
think
bit...
they got confused between the words base and based?
To be honest, with the turkeys, I think they got confused between the word baseball and piñata, is how they got confused.
What's pinata?
Piñata is when you pump the shit out of a donkey on a rope. It's a Mexican
Is that an Irish thing?
It's not an Irish thing, no. It couldn't be less of an Irish thing, piñata.
Yeah. Well,
hello, welcome to Ireland. It's a pleasure to have you here at the Shaughnessy Farm.
Sarah, yeah. That's cheeky. You're just doing it in an excellent accent. I could just as easily say there's nothing more Irish than pinata. Welcome now, here we are, just about to beat the shit out of our See, that's an Irish game now.
That offends me.
It is.
Okay, that kind of cheap, excuse me, national stereotyping you're doing there just as wrong. And so do my cousins. Sorry. If this happens, and just broaden the healthcare system in general, do you think Britain's healthcare system will be able to cope with, you know, a mass outbreak of...
It almost certainly not. Basically, we struggle with everything, haven't we? Everything we've ever had. You may have heard now that they've got this new worry about mad sheep disease as a follow-on from mad cow disease. The government have been doing research on sheep's brains for 5 years. Turned out recently that, in fact, they've been doing the research on cows' brains by mistake, and the research was worth jack shit. You'd have thought they might have spotted this, you know. Oh, have you got the sheep's brain? Yes. Mind you, it was a big sheep, black and white, went moo a lot. That's how mad it is. Lucky we got that research.
Who's going to step in and save the health service then?
Richard Branson.
Yes, that's it.
As with Virgin Surgeries. He's moving into health on the basis that if you run a coach and a train company, you're going to understand waiting lists.
Yes.
How can you trust anything that Richard Branson does? What sort of arsehole tries to fly around the world in a balloon when he owns a bloody airline?
But also, it's going to be exactly like Virgin Trains. They'll go, oh, you can't see the doctor, but we do have a replacement coach driver if you'd like to speak to him.
He's got a thing now where people can pay $1 million to travel into space with him. I'd pay $3,000 just not to be stuck in a lift with the arse.
He's also, I don't think it's with him, it's with his company.
No, he's going up as well.
On every flight.
Stephen Hawking's going to be has agreed to be on it, or maybe Branson just turned his volume down. You want to go, don't you? Oh yes.
Branson treated Stephen Hawking like a ventriloquist doll, did he? Oh, I want to go on the plane. I want to go on the plane. Don't put me back in the box. Don't put me back in the box.
It's amazing, isn't it, what they can do with medicine these days? It's like that woman last week who gave birth to she was 67 years old. And you're thinking you don't really want to be a kid there struggling to walk, finding out that your parents are in exactly the same condition.
It's not going to be a struggle pushing it out at 67, though, isn't it? That baby's going to have spent the last 3 months bungee jumping.
At the end of that round, ladies and gentlemen, the winners are Frankie, Hugh and Ron. Now we play a round called Wheel of News 2, Wheel Harder. This game involves Rod, Andy, Frankie and Joe. So you can make your way to the performance area, please. This is a stand-up challenge. Our random news generator contains a bank of topics. We spin the wheel, the topic will come up, and they'll have to step forward and make jokes about it. And the winning team will be the one with the best material. OK, the first topic, let's spin the wheel. First topic is climate change. Who wants to step forward on that?
I'll sort out climate change.
It's Rod.
I'll sort out climate change, Dara. People, is that climate change?
That was Lake District about a week ago.
People are going on about climate change as if it's the end of the world. I'm Welsh. Bring it on. I couldn't give a... That's what I want. That's what I want. Our climate is shithouse. I can't wait for it to change. Like people, you've got no idea how tough it is living here. I was 8 before I realised I could take a cagoule off. How about that? In the Bible, God made it rain for 40 days and 40 nights. That's still the best summer I remember. Bring it on, I say, bring it on.
Look at that! Let's spin the wheel again. The subject is alternative therapies. Who wants to come in on that?
I will.
Joe.
There's been a survey published about alternative therapies, basically put together by a lot of mad people pretending to be doctors. And they've come up with things that were healthy choices for us. Like next week on Valentine's Day, instead of chocolates, they've suggested that you should buy a gift voucher for a colonic irrigation treatment. Because nothing says, I love you like a hose up your backside.
Ladies and Joe Caulfield. Which leaves us with Andy and Frankie. The next topic is... It's terrorism. Andy's in like a shot.
Now, Tony Blair has once again tried to justify improving our nuclear weapons because he says one of the reasons is he's worried terrorists such as Osama bin Laden might get hold of them. Now, once again, I think this is scaremongering. We know Osama bin Laden hasn't got a nuclear weapon because we haven't seen it on his videos. We know he's got a rifle and a donkey. I don't think we've got to worry until he's ditched the rifle and we see his donkey strapped with a cruise missile.
Well done, Andy Parsons. Let's see what Frankie's been left with. That's crime.
Crime looking a lot like bird flu there, but... Yeah, they're going to bring in super ASBOs. Now, I mean, ASBOs already sounds too cool. Teenagers see it as a badge of honour. They should call them gaybos or bender badges. I'd say the TV show I'd love to see, CSI Glasgow. Well, they've done some preliminary tests and it looks like the intruder definitely did a jobby on the carpets. We're looking for a young man with a poor diet because the jobbie's got a wham bar with an old 50p stuck in it. We got this thing on DVDs now where they say DVD piracy funds the drugs trade. Funds the drugs trade. I don't know about you, but I reckon if you can't make money out of heroin, you're going to struggle in general. Oh, and the problem with this crack cocaine is people can just take it or leave it. Thank God we're still selling the Harry Potters. Crack cocaine, of course, a combination of cocaine and baking soda. How many combinations do you think the junkies went through before they came up with that? Round my way, they were using heroin and crunching up cornflakes. But everyone kept overdosing when they went for a second bowl.
Frankie Royal, the point in that round go to Frankie and Rod. This round is called If This Is the Answer, What Is the Question on the board of 6 categories. Joe, which one would you like?
Home news, please.
OK, your category is home news. The answer is 10 minutes. What is the question?
10 minutes. Is that sobering up time for a budget airline pilot?
Is it? How much of 2006 can Pete Doherty remember?
Is it if the Pope had a wank, how long would he ejaculate for?
I know. How long does it take Stephen Hawking to descend Ben Nevis?
You just hit eject.
Is it? It would take me 20 years to get tired of shagging Natalie Portman. How quickly did I tire of shagging my current girlfriend?
different.
your
Go on.
current girlfriend said you last, I would say.
She doesn't have a TV, I'm saying.
You don't realise that's quite flattering, Joe. Yeah, 10 minutes.
Not for me. I've got.
I was going to ask him for his secret.
No, I've got retarded ejaculation, which is a horrific thing.
Let me check. Like, how retarded? Are we in danger of enjoying your Saturday night at any stage now? Are we?
Enjoying my Saturday night. My Saturday night is spent climbing into a chicken coop and sniffing the goodness.
I'm just wondering how retarded could it be? Shouldn't you go? Oh, there we go.
No, it means it's a horrible thing, but it means if you last longer, for some reason, it's called retarded ejaculation.
Are you seriously presenting this as a problem?
Yeah, all right. I know we're not going to
Do you know
broadcast
what?
the fucking thing.
Mine's too big.
To be honest, most retards suffer from premature ejaculation, in my experience.
It's ironic, isn't it? Okay. It's somebody give it. Oh, whoa, shut up, the fucking lot of you, right?
I've got it.
Jesus wept, all right? Calm the fuck down, all right? I'm going to have to talk to you in the hope that when you open this mouth, it has nothing to do with ejaculation.
It doesn't.
Is it? I will merely set up the question again, Hugh, to give you a fair run at it. The answer is 10 minutes. What is the question?
Well, not 10 minutes, but is it what was the follow-up to the Seven Dwarfs?
Was it?
The 10 minute. See? That's a nice one. But you're all in filthy joke mode now.
Is it how long does it take a one-eyed woman with a big nose to realise you've sat next to her on a bus? Is it?
Andy,
Is that a no, Dar?
it's a no, but it's nice, but it's a no.
Is it how long was the recent run of my off-Broadway musical based on the Challenger space shuttle disaster?
What was the question again?
The question was... Well, no, I don't care what the fucking question is. That's a fucking round.
No, the question was...
What is the life expectancy of an Iraqi greengrocer?
What's the maximum length of time a man can tread water once he's been handed a hippo? No, Dar. I can't do this game.
What kind of, like, you know, swimming lessons were you brought to? Yeah, you're doing good, you're doing very good. Now bring in the hippo,
And hang on a minute, why did they cut you out of the BBC ident?
You talking to me?
Yes. I've got a lazy eye.
I know.
Funny, really funny, you dickhead. No wonder the
Let's
fucking
go.
hippo hated you.
Let's go. The hippo didn't hate me. He was handed to me. There's nothing to do with it. There's no relationship there.
Sure, the hippo-
That wasn't a joke about your lazy eye. It was that I genuinely was confused by it.
I meant, the hippo was drinking...
We've all had a drink.
Whoa!
Russell's not at all worried because he's just come, ladies and gentlemen.
That's next Friday's.
Anyway, I tell you the answer.
Can I have another crack?
Go on. Yeah, one more crack and then let's steer vaguely towards the topic. Go on.
Is it something to do with education? Is it what do most kids think quarter of an hour is?
I know the answer.
It is something to do vaguely with education.
It's how long are new lessons going to be?
How long are some new lessons?
Yeah,
going to be?
Mandarin specifically.
Yes, it is. Absolutely. Very well done, Russell Howard. Very good. Yeah. The question I was looking for is how long might some lessons now last under proposed secondary school reforms? These are the radical proposals from the Qualifications and Curriculum Authority to combat pupil disaffection by revolutionising school timetables and teaching methods. Does anyone really care about pupil disaffection?
Well, do you
is there
know-
any generation that didn't have
Hey,
people like this?
Do you know, at school, I mean, working towards excellence does depend on the pupils, but we had a bloke at my school who, when they marked A-levels, he used to get A, B, C, D, E, O, F. Those were the grades, right? The first time, took his A-levels twice. The first time
Why did you
round...
get an O before the F?
Well, because it was an O-level pass and then a fail. So, but the first time round, he got 2 O's and an F. He retook them, he got 2 F's and an O, and he was delighted because he could spell ooh, F off. With his A-level result.
But it's amazing.
See, that's the kind of kids you're working
But
with.
that's all you do. It's cool. We had a maths teacher called Mr. Winter, and he had a comb over, right? And we used to play a game called Tilt the Wig. And the aim was to get him so angry that his hair would flap down by one side. And you cannot get told off by a grown man whose hair is flapping. So it's the most fun. It's like when you go 10-pin bowling with your mates and they go and get a drink and you fiddle with their name. They come back, they bowl, they get a strike, they turn to celebrate, and above them in flashing letters it just says, I touch kids. It's that level of giddy joy, you know? Totally oblivious to the fact that...
This is part of the new proposals, isn't it, that they have things like 10-minute classes to shake up education, and they have they combine subjects and stuff like that.
It is genuinely a proposal that you would get different teachers to add it. And the one suggested by the man from the Qualifications and Curriculum Advisory Board, whatever it is, was that perhaps a PE teacher could come around and tell you about great historical example of sporting figures and their leadership. Which is
Could there be a
bit
worse
shabby.
idea?
Hitler was a
I
great
mean, you're
superstar.
sitting there as a history teacher trying to tell people about life in the trenches in the First World War. A guy comes in a tracksuit and starts going on about the life of Graham Souness.
I they combine religious education and biology, so then you'll know where babies come from, but you'll also know it's a sin and dirty and bad.
The other suggestion was, one of the examples was anatomy, where you could have your science teacher and your PE teacher getting the lesson together. The danger then, isn't it, if you forget your Bunsen burner, you know, you may have to do the whole lesson in your pants.
The whole scheme seems to be, what else can we get the PE teacher to do?
Well, they're not also they're trying to introduce new things, like you can do archery and skateboarding, apparently, in school. And what's going to happen there is you're just going to get a whole new type of drive-by shooting.
That'd be great.
Mothers of gang members pleading for quivers to be taken off the streets.
It is. But you shouldn't be able to hear the roll, pat, roll, pat. Oh my God, quick, duck, everything. There was an example given actually of many of the new sports, and they suggested skateboarding and golf. As if there's, you know, in a Venn diagram, just to bring maths into this, a Venn diagram that includes kids who skateboard and kids who play golf. There was no intersection there at all.
I was thinking you were saying it was skateboarding while golfing.
No.
Like, that's brilliant. That's like sort of council house polo. That's a fantastic idea, isn't it?
All these new sports, because Blair thinks our kids are too fat. That way they eat too much sugar and too much salt and too much fat and stuff. And I read a really frightening thing the other day, that if you leave a fat kid in a glass of Coke overnight... You can finish that one off yourself.
Well, their proposal for fat kids at school is that they give them dance lessons. They're not going to have the concentration for that, are they? Everybody do the mashed potato. Ooh, mashed potato! The thing is, if they're saying, oh, well, how do we get children to learn? Make them.
Yes.
Make them learn. Combine algebra with a beating.
I love the new subject. It's just designed to make parents feel even more stupid, isn't it?
Oh, yeah,
It's like,
great.
you know, can you help me with my Mandarin homework? Oh, yes, dear. It's like a small orange, a bit like a satsuma.
People are saying, oh, well, it's stupid. You know, what's the point of any of our kids learning Arabic? But it could be quite useful, couldn't it? For instance, if you were sat on the tube and two people in front of you were speaking Arabic, it would make you a little more relaxed about what they had in their bag.
Or not.
It'd be good if it was Arabic phrases that you could really use when you're travelling in the Middle East. Help, my legs have been blown off. Could you phone an ambulance? That's a very sharp sword. Why are you videotaping this? Where's the nearest marketplace? Good, I'll head in the opposite direction.
Surely all this talk about learning all these sort of slightly more obscure foreign languages, surely what we really want our kids to learn, most importantly, is English. And then, as the first foreign language... What, did somebody argue with that?
Oh, somebody went, bravo! Which is fantastic.
Which is an Italian
One
word.
person, let's start a rally. Here we go.
I think we're saying that Chinese was an obscure foreign language. Do you know how many Chinese people there are?
1.1 billion.
But they're not talking, is that what you think?
It would be quite impressive if you pitched up in, like, the middle of Beijing and went, yes, well, yours is basically a minority interest.
That wasn't my point at all.
I
I
know
said
it
some
wasn't.
obscure. I didn't say Mandarin was an obscure one. I said some. My point was, I think the first language you should learn is English, and the second language you learn is English, and then, maybe, learning it twice, some of it will filter in.
Well, you can talk all you like, Parsons. When the Chinese invade, you'll be crucified upside down with a roast duck stuck up your arse.
Basically, these education proposals, you know, they've been upsetting teachers. And you don't want to upset a teacher, do you? Very easy to upset a teacher. All you've got to do to upset a teacher is go, oh, you've got long holidays. They don't like that, do they? And then, if you continue with that with, oh, and you finish at 3:30. Oh, they're livid, aren't they? Oh, I've got me marking.
And primary school teachers, they don't like it. If you go to a primary school teacher, and how old are they? You teach 7-year-olds. That's all right. You don't have to know anything, do you? If you can tie your own shoelaces, I think you're a genius.
Primary teaching isn't a job. What, you're teaching little kids to do paintings out of seashells and glitter? That's what they'd have done if you weren't even in the room.
They've been teaching 6-year-olds philosophy in Scotland, haven't they? Did you see this?
Yes, there is a borough in Scotland that has put Socratic dialogue, all the major philosophical questions, on the curriculum for primary school children.
You don't want to be, when you're like 6, you want to just be farting under your arm, you know, blowing bubbles in milkshake, just going, ah. Do you want to do a potato print? I might not even exist.
At the end of that round, the ball goes to Russell, Joe and Andy. Now we come to our final quickfire round called Scenes We'd Like to See. This is for everyone, so if you can make your way to the performance area, please. I'll call out ideas for scenarios we'd love to see the performers come in with their suggestions. The first subject is unlikely things to hear on Comic Relief.
And we'd just like to thank the donation of 160,000 turkeys from Mr. B. Matthews.
Remember, tonight isn't all about comedy. Here's Ben Elton.
Of course, we're also supporting projects in the UK. For example, this is my extension.
My name's Ade. I'm 7 years old, and I have to walk 5 miles every day to get fresh water. So I really don't have time to play footballs with fat celebrities. Fuck off and give me the money.
Why don't they just eat the flies?
Right, here's one for you. 3 Ethiopians walk into a bar.
If we remove all these villagers' cataracts, one day they might be able to make our shoes.
Yeah, I don't believe it either. Some of those kids are fatter than I am.
And remember, 20% of everything you give goes directly to a grinning warlord wearing a necklace of human finger bones.
Turn off the camera, turn off the camera. How much do you want this food?
This village had 1 goat until I ate it.
Later, Dawn French will be climbing into a bath of beans. Not for charity, it's her supper.
We're from the Maasai tribe. When are we going to get that money for that ident we did?
Okay, the next topic is the worst thing your new neighbour could say.
What day do the bins go out round here? My wife's body's starting to stink.
Well, looks like we got ourselves a fresh one.
So pleased to meet you. We were a bit worried you might be black.
Here, have a carrier bag full of my pubes.
Stay away from my daughter. She gave me crabs.
I hope my turkeys won't be keeping you awake.
My wife and I are nudists and have been for the past 70 years.
You're bigger than you look through the telescope.
I fantasize about tricking your wife into making love to me by wearing your skin.
Would you like to smell some chicken poo?
Welcome to the street, or as we like to call it, the cul-de-sac of Christ.
Do you like the music? Oh, so what then? What then?
I can see you when you sleep.
Yes, that's right. The wife breeds Rottweilers, the children in a brass band, and I'm a paedophile.
It's simple. Your dog and I are in love.
That's it, ladies and gentlemen. The winners of that round are Frankie, Hugh and Rod. Sit down, everyone. That is the end of the show, ladies and gentlemen. This week's winners are Andy Parsons, Joe Caulfield and Russell Howard. Commiserations to Frankie Boyle, Hugh Dennis and Rod Gilbert. Thank you for watching. Good night.
My
My blood sugar is fucking plummeting. I mean, that kind of...
Do you want a
Please.
Nutrigrain bar, Dara?
Oh! All right, do it again so I catch it in a kind of a dramatic way. Yes, Frankie, I do. I was getting ratty there, but now I've got Nutrigrain.
Nutrigrain for when you're doing quiz shows and you're feeling shit.
This one goes out on BBC One just after the show that finishes, just as we're starting up, which is Crime Watch. Which is, you know...
Do this one moody. Moody.
Ooh, I actually am, yeah, okay. Right? Oh, Crime Watch is a bit depressing. So turn over as you take an irreverent look at the culling of 160,000 turkeys. We'll make it funny. Over on BBC Two now. Are you about to call Crime Watch with some important information? What's the rush? Give it half an hour, turn over to BBC Two and watch Mock the Week. Are you rolling?
Don't sniff it.
Yeah, okay, cool. We're just getting ready to do another show. I'm just finishing my turkey sandwich. Delicious and so cheap. Find out why on BBC Two now.